I think the first thing for a coach has got to provide is a happy environment for the players to come and work in. I think there's also a responsibility of the coach to lay down certain disciplines so the players understand that when they come in, it is a working environment. I think, especially in professional sport. And I think that's something with youngsters in particular. If you can get them into that mode from an early age, they then understand when they do actually make it into professional sport. It is something. It's their job, and therefore they have a responsibility themselves to ensure that everything they do is done with the utmost dedication, and also the responsibility off the park. To make sure they live like athletes. Goodness me, that's a good question. And there's probably, if you look through, I'm obviously from a football background. If I look at coaches and some of the best in the world now, you've got pathways that have been very, very different. Jose Mourinho's, who never really played the game of football, but became a student of the game, and then went and worked in fantastic environments under very, very strong mentors. He went that way, and he's been absolutely outstanding in what he's done. I think I've read lots of stuff about how he goes about creating his environment, and I think he has a structure, but he also allows a huge amount of self-expression from the players that he brings in. They have to come in and work in an organisation that he sets up, but then he understands that they have ability and talent that he probably can't coach. And then you go and look at someone like Sir Alex Ferguson, who's been 25, 26 years at the very, very top of the game, probably been the most successful club manager in the game's history. And you know, from the early days when the salaries of players probably weren't as great, there was an element of fear in the way he probably coached. You know, as the game's changed, he evolved. He brought in, I think he's had 5 or 6 different assistant coaches through his time as a manager, and what he's done, he's evolved his own philosophy over that period of time. And if you were to look at the makeup of his team back in 1992, and then look at that team, the team that he's now got in 2012, I think you'd be amazed at how far his football knowledge and what he's gained from his coaches that he brought in, how different his team looks now. But they're still very, very successful. Coaching, the biggest thing it's meant to me is that I've been able to stay in a game that I absolutely loved from the day I could kick a ball. And when you're a player, your playing career goes very, very quickly, and you probably don't always appreciate as a player some of the learning curves that you have as a player that you take from your coaches. So I think becoming a coach has enabled me to really enjoy what I do for this part of my life. It sent me on a learning curve. It's made me really appreciate the detail you have to go into as a coach if you're going to be successful. But it's also probably, you know, I think when you have a little bit of success as a coach as well, it enables you to stand back and enjoy the fact that the players have had that success. I think it's actually probably more rewarding to see a group of players become winners than it is actually to become a winner yourself as a player. It's a strange feeling, but standing back and seeing them and all the work that you probably have done as a coach, and all the ups and downs you've had as a coach with a group of players, to finally bear fruits is a wonderful feeling. I think to try and find a mentor from somewhere. is crucial, and one that's probably had some kind of success. I think knowledge. As if you've come from a player into a coach, you've got playing knowledge. There's no doubt about that, and you've got experience. But the process of coaching is something that's very, very crucial. If you come into a group of players and they see straight away that you haven't got the organisation, you don't have the in-depth knowledge of the game, and you're not still prepared to learn, even though you've had some experience at coaching, then they'll find you out very, very quickly. So it's important that you're prepared as a coach when you come into a group, because players players can be very, very quick to spot weaknesses, and it's as you experience it as a coach, you are going to show certain weaknesses, but I think you then have to make sure that you learn as you go along that that line to becoming a very, very successful coach. And I think if I go back again to Sir Alex Ferguson, it was 300 games before he won a European Cup. And that shows the amount of experience you need to get to that level. But along the way, again, he's probably done a huge amount of learning, both practically and from experience on the ground.